Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Easily Excitable Podcast. My name is Topham. This is going to be hosted under the Etherfire brand on etherfire.com, and then, there's going to be plenty of things associated with that around the place. On that website, I typically run a daily journal. There's links to my musical projects and a few other things that I do. But this week, my guest is Mr. Andres Escalante. Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, everything is great, man. I'm so excited to be the first guest on this new podcast. I'm stoked.
Cool. So, this podcast has come about because I got to 100 episodes in my previous podcast, and I was just like, I've strayed away a lot from the original vision I had. So, why not start anew, start fresh, rebrand, and really get things going in a direction that I want and I feel more comfortable with. And as such, this is the podcast that has come out of the ashes of the old one. I'm going to try and keep the same people that were on before, but that doesn't mean necessarily that you know who they are. So, Andres, why don't we find a little bit about you? And, so you're over in America, in Texas, and what kind of things do you do?
Oh, man. There's a list.
Yes.
So I used to podcast a lot. I've kind of been on hiatus on that. Right now what I'm focusing on more is I am writing for comics that myself and a gentleman named Deco, or One Blue Wolf, create.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the main focus right now.
Yeah, cool. He's the person that's done most of the artwork for the website and for the channel that you will have seen around the place. And the photography that's on the website has been done by my dad, because we were just like, let's go take pictures in fields, which was actually a bad idea at the time. He was like, let's go do it. And I hadn't taken any hay fever medicine. So I walk into the field and going fine, disrupt some plants, and then I'm just my face is just streaming. So I insisted on him taking pictures of me walking down paths so that my face is completely obscured and not facing the camera in any way. So that was one, an artistic choice that I wanted to make initially anyway, and then two, a forced choice because there was no way I was showing my face all red and puffy and might be looking like I'm crying. So yeah, I posted a few pictures on Snapchat and on Facebook, and I was just like, look at this, and it was bad. It was a bad day, but I had a great time taking photos with him because we were just let's go and have a riot, just get some photos and just chill out. But yeah, that all came about, and I've been working intensely on getting this website prepared. So etherfire.com is the website, the home of this podcast. I'm going to be setting this up on Podbean. So this will be up on Podbean service, which is, so far what I can see, a very nice service. It'll host it. I'm going to try and push it to iTunes as soon as possible as well. Get it everywhere I can, and then be try and promote it a little bit. Who really knows?
And then take over the world.
Take over the world. One of the reasons I have Andres on is because we play games together. We've podcasted before, and like he said, he's podcasted as well in the past, and his experience to me is quite valuable, and as such, we work well together as a team. So he's one of the people that I'm going to be dragging over, and I'm going to have a set cast of maybe 8 people that I'm just going to rotate through. I'm not necessarily going to say I'm not strictly going to do the same person 2 weeks in a row, because that might happen. Who knows? Situations change. So, yeah. But I do quite a lot of talking because I get easily excitable, which is the name of the podcast. And as such, what's got you excited over the past week?
Oh, man. Well, so I don't know if you follow football, not American football, but soccer, I guess I should say, for everyone who doesn't call it football. Yeah. But right now is the Copa America, and I've been watching a lot of different teams. And my dad and we enjoy watching tournaments like that. Mm-hmm. So I've been really hyped on that. But also I'm super hyped because E3 is coming up.
Oh yeah, E3 is coming up, and there's so much going to be coming out, and they've there's so many things already been announced. Pre E3 announcements is just ridiculous, and I've definitely been excited by the fact that for the E3 announcement, or the pre-E3 announcement, there's been a new Destiny expansion. That's going to be one of the topics that comes up very regularly as well. Destiny. Because I play it way too much. So they've announced Rise of Iron, which is an expansion that's coming out September 20th. They've had like seeds of this planted from when the April update hit back in April. Saying that it's going to come out on September the 20th, but they denied all knowledge of that being in the game. Well, they knew what they were doing. And so when they did the live stream earlier this week, well, last week, they hit like a ridiculous number of people on Twitch watching it. And it was all just a general case of everyone being like, oh my god, the hype is back! And so I'm very much looking forward to getting it. But at the moment, my playtime in Destiny is kind of quietened down a bit. I played like 1.5 hours over the last week. I played half an hour the week before that. Like, there's still things I want to achieve in the game before the DLC, before the new DLC comes, but at the moment there's no real push for it. So, but there's a lot of announcements coming up from E3. Why don't we go down that rabbit hole and be like, what kind of things are you expecting from E3?
So I was talking to my friends about an hour ago, and I don't know if you remember from last E3, Ubisoft announced a game called For Honor.
I do not remember that.
So For Honor is from what I've seen, is a 4 versus 4 mob style game where it's 4 people who play on one team and 4 on the other, and then you have minions essentially, or creeps if you play like MOBAs, and it's just like an all-out, Vikings versus samurai, or samurai versus knights, or knights versus Viking. It's any combination of that, and you are like the 4 strongest characters or strongest people in each army. And you fight against each other, and the way you fight and the way that they do the fighting instances is you can defend to your bottom right, to your bottom left, or up above you. And so you have to, if you're attacking, you have to calculate, okay, they're guarding above them, I'm going to go swing to the right. But in a split second, they can change where their defenses go.
Okay.
And it looks really cool, and like you have, like the samurais who aren't very good defensive, but they're really good and really fast whenever it comes to attacking.
Okay.
And you have knights who are kind of all around, mediocre. Not mediocre, but like the same all around.
Yeah.
And then you have Vikings who are really, really brutal, but they're slow.
Okay.
And it looks amazing, and I'm so excited to see any new news coming out of it. And I also want to see more news about Watch Dogs 2.
Okay. Did you play the first?
Oh yeah.
Okay. How was it? Because I never really got into it. I think it was like during the time when GTA 5 was coming out?
Yeah.
Was that about the same time?
It was like right around that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a really fun game. Just the hacking mechanics were awesome. But it did leave, a bit to be desired from it. The story was kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it was a new IP. It was something that was completely different. Something that no one had really taken on before, with the hacking and being able to move and hack things at the same time. And I can understand why it was a challenge and why some people said that it wasn't as good. The driving mechanics were kind of lame in it. But, I mean, in the end, like, I loved it, I thought it was great. Like, it was so fun because you could also hack into other people's games, essentially, and try and steal information from them. Okay. And that was a really fun aspect of it. And I heard that they were bringing that back for the next game. And this next game looks, just so much cooler because you have so much new technology that over the past few years has come out. So now they're like, well, a new thing that you can do in this game is you can 3D print your own weapons. And I was like, awesome. What does that mean? And they're like, well, you as the DeadSec community, which is like the hacker group in the game, you all have 3D printers that can print metal. So you can make and customize whatever weapon you want. And I was like, oh my god, yes!
Nice.
And it's so cool. And hacking is, very on the fly still. And you can go either guns blazing on a mission, you can go part, hacking, part, shooties, or you can go full stealth and just go all hacking. Basically, they've said there are some missions that you can do without even, like, going into the mission area yourself. And just because you have, like, a jumping, little mobile thing that you can move around, and you've got a drone. And I was like, that's so freaking cool. And it's a dope looking game. I love the idea of hacking, and I'm stupid when it comes to computers, but the idea of being able to do it in a game is so dope.
Cool. I should definitely watch out for it coming out.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's still, the first one was so bad for some people that they're just like, yeah, I don't want to play the second one. But it's like, for me, I mean, I love playing video games, period. So I'm like, yeah, it might suck, but I still want to play it.
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, that I missed it. I kind of glossed over the first one. I think it was in a time frame where I was like, oh, I don't know what game to invest in. I should go for the one that probably more people are going to get. So I went for. I'm certain it came out around the same time as GTA 5, and everyone's like, yeah, that's the game. And as such, like, I got GTA 5 and never got Watch Dogs, with the intention of getting Watch Dogs maybe in the future when it was cheaper. Never got round to it, and I just haven't had time to go back to it ever. I'm still working on a few games I've had for months now that I just can't get around to finishing.
Yeah, and like you and I talked about the possibility of you getting Overwatch, and you talked with Raph on the last episode of Top and Chats, the last episode ever, which you should all go watch just in case you haven't already. But you guys talked about how you are not looking forward to, or not that you're not looking forward to, but just Destiny is going to take up so much more of your time, and other games that you want to play before you even think about getting to Overwatch.
Yeah.
And it's what the worst part of being an adult is wanting to play all these games and not being able to.
Yeah, not being able to. Like, there's all these games coming out, but like, I've got to be sensible, because I know I'm going to play Destiny because I'm heavily invested in it.
Yeah.
Time wise, I think last time I checked, I was about 730 hours, which is quite a bit of time. It's nowhere near the most I've spent in a game. I'm just not going to go there. It was 4,600 hours in RuneScape, and everyone.
Oh my god!
So yeah, let's not go down that route. And I know I've spent over 1,000 in both Dark Souls and Final Fantasy X. So yeah, Destiny's still not even close to my most played game. And then I've got No Man's Sky coming out as well, which looks excellent.
Oh yeah,
like it looks like it's going to be so much fun. But at the same time, it's been delayed 6 weeks. But I'm okay with that, because it came out like the week before I went away on holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was supposed to be going away on holiday. And as such, like, I wouldn't have had time to play it on launch.
Yeah,
so I'm just going to do... Yeah.
Shigeru Miyamoto, I love this quote so much. And one of my friends, Jesse, is like, we get it, you love Shigeru Miyamoto. Mm-hmm. But he's always been known to say, like, a delayed game will eventually be good, but a bad game is bad forever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, like, I don't mind delays. Like, I get a little bit frustrated, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had it now. But then I'm just like, there's a reason they're delaying it.
Yes. Yeah, it's just to make sure it runs right. If it didn't run right and people got trapped and couldn't do anything, that'd be the worst.
Yeah. It's
stuck
like,
on a run. Like, oh no. But, yeah, I'm kind of okay with it being delayed. It's just, as long as I get a good game at the end, like when it comes out, I'll be happy. But it looks like one of those games that's just going to develop forever, so it should be great. Like, yeah, there's gonna be a lot to it as well, and I'm just glad that they're spending the time to make it as robust as possible.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and then we've got all these other things that are being announced. Things I don't even know. I'm sure there'll be news about Horizon Zero Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's a PS4 exclusive.
Yes.
I'm not misremembering. And then I'm sure there's going to be other games that I don't even know of that have going to have popped up, and they're just going to have completely caught me off guard and be like, that's the kind of game I really want to play. So, yeah. And
not only that, there are games that, there are companies that go to E3 for games that already exist, much, like Destiny and, and they'll just be like, hey, by the way, we're also coming out with this for the current game that, is already out, as opposed to the game that we're developing. And it's just like, yes!
Yeah, woo! Speaking of which, Diablo 3's got a few updates this year, which just blows my mind that they're, like, still supporting it, still putting new things in, and I'm just like, this is crazy. I only picked it up this year, and it's changed since I've got it, and I wasn't expecting that at all. So, like, Diablo 3's been great. Like, I'm working on getting full sets of the armor that'll boost my, like, because the set armor has, like, abilities for the set.
Yeah.
I'm working on collecting all of the pieces for one character, and then I'm going to move on to the next. But it's just ridiculous. Just like there's so much to do in that game. Like I've hit level 70, I was like, oh cool, I'll start a new character, or I won't because there's so many other things to do when you hit max level in that game.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. So we've been playing that a bit recently as well. Like it's just ridiculously fun. And like, there's always something to do when you go on. It's just like, oh, do I work on my main character where I'm trying to get like these set pieces of armor, or do I go on an alternate character where I can just try and get extra resources, get better gear and level them up to try and hit them to max level before, and then really get into the end gamey stuff. Do I go hunting for goblins? You know,
yeah.
typical
we
things.
One of those goblins that takes you to the Rainbow World.
Yeah, Whimsydale,
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And I'd never been there before, and you guys were like, oh yeah, this is like our second trip.
Yeah, because we'd only been like the day before as well, so we're like, oh, Rainbow Land! And you're like, what is this? And it's like, so colourful. And there's rainbows, and unicorns, and flowers, and teddy bears.
You still have to murder all of them, though.
You do, and they all like explode into bloody bits that go everywhere. It's like, that game has like so many levels that it's enjoyable on. It's like the main story's like super serious, but there's also all the like side conversations that go on that aren't serious at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of crazy. So what kind of things have you been watching or even playing recently?
Let's see. Recently, I started watching Parks and Recreation again.
Okay, yeah.
I love Parks and Rec so much. It's just like one of those feel-good shows for me, and I can watch it and not even really pay attention to it, and look up and be like, oh yeah, I remember this. This was funny.
Yeah.
But I've also been more than watching. I've been reading a lot more comic books recently.
Well, okay. I guess that makes sense given you're trying to write and put out a comic book.
Yeah. So I've been watching the TV show for Preacher, and I like it. It's pretty good. And I, whenever the first one aired, I was like, I should actually pick up a copy of Preacher and start reading that. And I did, and it's a really good book. Like, I think it was $20 for me here in the U.S. Yeah. And it's got a really interesting story. And I mean, it deals with religion, but it's not like, I guess like it's not shoving it down your throat or anything. It's just like, this is the crazy stuff that I think would happen if this sort of thing happened in this story. Because it's all about a guy who is a preacher of a town, and just crazy stuff goes down. See, the problem is I can't say too much without giving away a huge part of it. So I'd rather just be like, yeah, some crazy stuff goes down.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about it, so like that bodes well for it. Like everyone's like, oh, the show's awesome, the comic book's great that it's based on, and I'm just like, maybe I should look into it. But at the moment, it's on Amazon Video over here, and I don't have that service, so oh well, I just have to wait. But I've got other things to watch, like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which at the moment is like my favourite show.
I tried watching that, but like, the first couple episodes,
they're slow and not that great.
They're slow, and there's parts where I'm just like, oh, this is so cringy.
It doesn't get better for the cringe. Like,
no!
It's so funny though. It's so funny. I'm like sitting there laughing away, and Rachel's just like, this is okay, but yeah. Like, I feel like I'm enjoying it way more than she is, because I was like, let's watch Kimmy, and she's like, okay, I guess we'll watch it. And that's like typical of everything with us, really. Like, one of us is really enthusiastic, and the other's like, I'll go along with it. Or like it's Diablo, and we're like, let's go, yay!
I think the only thing that you guys, maybe not the only thing, but I know for sure one of the things you guys both love is Waffle House.
Waffle House, yes.
It is the best for you guys.
It's gonna be, I can't wait to be back over in the States. I'll be like, Waffle House at least 3 times in 2 weeks. And that alone will help me put on like 5 pounds. So I'll be like, whoa. But I'm trying to do prep work, so I've been running. Like, my run today was, I thought, really slow, like in terms of how I've been able to run in the past. So I've been able to run like 5k in about 22 minutes, and this time I ran it 25 minutes. I'm like, that's no good. That's not fast enough. So I'm like, that's somewhere I need to focus. I need to hit the gym and Yeah, I've been training taekwondo as well. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to get better at everything. And working on a website and trying to put everything together and stay up with everything and get all the work done is proving to be a bit of a challenge. So this week I've been like super fatigued all week. It also doesn't help that it suddenly got warm. It went from like averaging about 12 degrees C. I can't remember what the conversion is to Fahrenheit. To like 25 or so, and I'm not good with the heat. I don't sleep well when it's warm, and as such, I've been super fatigued all week, and like I've been useless the last 2 days, which has been great for everyone involved. And it's
my gosh, that's 53 degrees, 12 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
77, or I'm sorry, 53 degrees Fahrenheit. 25 is 77. I wish it was that here.
Yeah, I know. Rachel Rocks, I was like, it's cold, and it's like 24 degrees, like degrees C, and like that's what she wakes up to, and I'm just like, oh god, I'm gonna melt when I'm visiting, so bad.
It's like here right now today, it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 32 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, I'm so gonna melt when I come over for RTX, which is very soon, like. It's 2 weeks tomorrow I fly over, and it's the following weekend, so I'm like, I am so excited about RTX now. I'm just like, I can't wait to meet up with a whole bunch of people. They've just sent out all the sign-in codes.
Yeah, the autograph tickets or whatever they're
called. What are you going to like try and book a session to go and see any people?
So Hannah and I want to go see James and Elise.
Okay, yeah.
Because we want to take prom pictures with them.
Okay.
So I want Hannah to be behind me holding me, and Elise to be behind James holding James. And like we relate to them, because like they're a married couple, and we're just like as goofy as they are in our own way.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just like really wanting to go meet them and like say hello and be like, we love you.
Cool. I'm looking to try and get one for Game Grumps rather than any Rooster Teeth people, because I find myself at the end of a day, if I need to like wind down, watch a quick video, shoving on an episode of Game Grumps, watching Aaron and Danny just chat mindlessly about random things. And yeah, I found like a few of the things they've said recently very inspiring, which is kind of why I was like, I am changing things, because they're like, oh, people get set in their ways, and also they were talking about people need to follow their dreams, but at the same time they need to be aware that they can't put all their hopes into that, and they may need to be in the real world for quite a long time, like pursuing like their reality. And so I'm like, I've really resonated with what they've been saying recently, and with Danny, I've been really inspired by him and Brian for like music wise. So like for me, it's the session I want to go and see, because like I don't know, most of my time recently has been spent absorbing their content rather than anywhere else. I've been watching things, and
it's funny you mention that. I kind of feel the same way. Like, if I'm at work, like I'll watch the RT podcast, but like I don't really watch too much Achievement Hunter. Not because I don't like them or anything. It's just like I guess I get like burned out on content.
Yeah.
And but what I never get burned out on is listening to Aaron and Danny. Whatever they're talking about, like I'm always just like, this is so funny, or it's fascinating. My favorite thing is listening to Danny talk about his dad.
Yeah, that's always hilarious. It's just like, oh, my dad, and everyone's just like, yeah, more. Was it voicemails from him? It's just like, oh, that's amazing.
If you play this voicemail on Game Grumps, I'm never talking to you again.
So yeah, I really want to. That's what I'm going to be pushing for. Like when they go live. So I'm just. It's like, that's the only thing I really want to see. Like everyone else is just fleeting, and like it would be cool to say hi to them, but
yeah,
like I don't know. I don't know what I could express to anyone else, like my gratitude right now. I feel like I've done that a lot on the website even though it might have been falling upon deaf ears, there's all this praise and adoration for the people at Rooster Teeth.
That's the thing. Like my first year of RTX, I got the opportunity to meet Bernie, and he was just walking by, but I told him, I was like, hey, I just want you to know you're a huge inspiration. And he gave me a hug, and I was like, I appreciate it. And even the second year, I got to go backstage behind the RT podcast panel, whatever it was called at the time, and I got to see a lot of different people, and I got to see Miles. Mm-hmm. And Miles, he didn't have a voice at that point because it was on Sunday, so he'd been screaming all weekend. But I was like, hey, I just want you to know that you're one of my heroes, and you're a huge inspiration because you're about the same age that I am. And, it's really cool to see that you have gone so far and succeeded so far, and all that. And he was like, oh, my God, thank you so much. Give me a hug. Because he had no voice. So I hugged him. And then on that podcast, I got to go up on stage, and I got to give Bernie and the whole gang a 6-pack of beers that I brought them from Houston.
Oh, wow.
So, you can go back and look at that panel, and I do it on occasion, and I'm just like, man, that was one of the coolest days of my life.
Nice.
But, nice. Yeah, no, it's not that there's no appreciation for the people at Rooster Teeth, because there is. I mean, obviously, without Rooster Teeth, I would have never met some of my closest friends. I wouldn't be here talking to you.
Yes, yeah, this probably wouldn't. This wouldn't be happening without the Rooster Teeth website and the community that we found from there.
The thing about Rooster Teeth that's different than Game Grumps is Rooster Teeth has their own convention every year. Game Grumps doesn't have a convention. They go to conventions, so I can understand completely why you would want to maybe spare meeting Rooster Teeth people because, well, they'll always be next time, whereas Game Grumps, maybe next year they decide they don't want to be, coming to RTX, which, let's be real, that might not happen. They're amazing, and they're funny, and they're really nice people.
And they're writing an episode of RVB this season, so...
Exactly, and it's just I guess, it's one of those, well, I could meet RT people just walking down the street.
Yeah.
But, Aaron and Danny... they're going to be crowded 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's I'd rather be able to take the opportunity and say, hey, you're a huge inspiration, and I love your face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so one last thing I wanted to talk about, and that is, I guess, Achievement Hunter Rooster Teeth related. I am trying to, put a crowbar in and, just generally move away from just talking a lot about Rooster Teeth stuff, just because, that's how the whole previous podcast was formed around. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to try and move away from that in general, just talk about life stuff. But it is still a big part of many of the people I talk to's lives.
Yeah.
So the one thing I wanted to last talk about was Heroes and Halfwits. Have you watched the pilot of it, or they've just put up the first episode as well? And it's their D&D game.
I watched part of the pilot. I couldn't watch all of it because I was at work, and I realized it was a 3-hour pilot.
Yeah, it's 3 hours, 40 minutes.
Yeah, but I'm probably going to take some time this weekend just to sit down and watch the whole thing because, you and I play D&D,
yes.
We play these role-playing games, and I'm just there's a role-playing game on Rooster Teeth's site now? I'm watching this.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be encouraging for people to be oh, local people, let's meet up, let's play D&D.
Yeah.
And someone be a decent DM, and... then there'll be online games as well. I hope to be arranging. Who knows? I'm trying my best, but
that's what I'm looking forward to most is seeing people say, "Hey, Rooster Teeth's playing D&D. I'd like to learn. It's something I've always wanted to try. Does anybody know a good DM, or does anybody know any players that are kind of experienced?"
Yeah.
And hey, we all live across country, but across country, excuse me. But we can use this, d20.com or whatever it is.
Roll20.net.
Roll20. There we go.
I play on there regularly with Killer Kel and McDom, who will be on in the future. And we'll talk about D&D then, but yeah.
And it's just, I'm excited to see more people pop up because, there's people here in my town and friends that I have that play D&D, but, sometimes I just want to play in D&D with, other people, too. And I want to introduce new people to it.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to have a wide range of different people, because... people approach the same problems differently, which is exactly what I want to see. So, yeah, that's a good thing. What else? That's about it. That's going to wrap it up for this episode, actually. This was the first episode of the Easily Excitable Podcast. As you can tell, at times we get a bit excitable, which is good. Hence the name, and as such, I'm very happy that I've chosen that name. Also, the acronym of it is EAP, with an exclamation mark, and that makes me happy also. So, yeah, You can find all my things that I've been doing and trying to tie together on ethafar.com, which is ythafar.com. There will be branding at the end of this saying it will be found on there. It will be on the Easily Excitable. I hope so. It's going to be on the Easily Excitable Productions YouTube channel.
Nice.
I'm distributing through Podbean, and hopefully I'll get it up on iTunes. At that point, I'll probably be like, subscribe, because subscribing is fun and cool. And then I can also be found on Twitter at Ethafar or Destroy Topham. It really depends on my mood as to which account is loaded up at the time. But all of those links and things go through my website anyway, so all my new content is put up on there under the various tabs. There's music and a blog, a daily journal that I write, and just social media links, so Twitter, Instagram, and various other places. Excalante, whereabouts can we find you across the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Excalante. You can find me on Facebook just under my name, Andres Escalante. You can find me on the Rooster Teeth site. You can find literally. You can just type in Google Excalante, and I'm like the first page of results.
Nice. And with that, everyone, have an exciting week. You're all my favorites. Goodbye.
Adios.